Hey guys, Daemonxel here, and today we're going to talk about what I feel is the best free-to-play option for your Shadow campaign. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so yeah, the Shadow side is just as important as the Light side, because you're going to need both sides to farm everything you're going to need to raise your squads up. And yes, currently I am still not in that 40 range to progress further as other people are in the game. I restarted my account, started launch day just with everybody else, but in my dealings from the soft launch as well as playing throughout, I feel that I've come up with the best Shadow side. Now, there is some variations that I feel could work in your favor. Alright, so let's take a look at what I feel is the best free-to-play team right now on the Shadow side. And that is going to consist of primarily your Isengard team. So, right off the bat, we want Uglok. So, Uglok is a great tank for this game. He's an early character, and he's going to have a great leadership skill, which is going to help out your other characters. Now, what this skill does is, it's going to give your squad members who inflict Bane a heal all for 2% of their max health. So, it's not going to be his Uglok's max health. It's the person who inflicts the Bane, it's going to be 2% of their max health. So, his first ability, his basic, it's actually pretty good. I like the fact that it's 100% damage, which is basically all of them, but this is going to give him a chance at provoke. Now, you're not going to get a definite always provoke until you upgrade it to that level 4, which is kind of a drag, especially since he is somewhat of the tank, but it is what it is, and that's what we deal with. So, when you upgrade it, you're going to get the provoke section and get more damage. Now, on his special, that is a great move right off the bat, especially for Arena, because it's going to give that blind for at least one turn. Now, when you upgrade it to the second level, it's going to take that stamina cost from 5 down to 4, and subsequent upgrades is going to increase the damage on that. Now, his ultimate is a team-up attack. It's going to be a team-up with Maher. If he's an ally, you're going to deal 100% damage per hit. It's going to be 2 hits. And you're going to get a stack of defensive on both him and Maher. Now, if Maher is not part of your group, which I don't know why, because they go together like peanut butter and jelly, then he's only going to hit for 2 times at 85% damage per hit. Now, once you upgrade this, it's also going to inflict Disable, which is going to be an ability block on that target. And, of course, his passive is just going to upgrade his block chance, and when he does have a successful block, he's going to inflict weak-minded on the person that hit him. So, moving right on to the second character of the Isengard group, and that's going to be his buddy, Maher, which is a great damage dealer. Now, his basic Leaping Stab, it's going to just be damage and crit. Now, once you upgrade this past level 4, he's going to get 5% additional crit per Bane on the enemy. So, if you have, say, an enemy with 4 or 5 Banes on them, that's going to add up a lot. That's a lot of crit chance to hit off. Now, his special is a light heal on himself. It's going to cast regeneration, and it's going to give him deadly, which is basically a increased crit chance. Now, as you level this up, his haste is going to go up, turn meter is going to go up, he's going to get that deadly duration for another round, and lastly, his ultimate, which is here, sorry about that, that's going to inflict slow on the target, and it's just going to basically be a big hit. So 180% damage right off the bat, and if you level up to level 3, 4, 5, it's going to pile on more damage. And of course, you want to upgrade it to level 2, and you're going to call Uglok for that assist. So, between Uglok and Maher, you're going to have 2 assisted hits when both of them attack. So, and the passive itself is going to be nice. It's going to cleanse a Bane off of himself every time he crits. Now, as he gets that higher crit chance, you're going to be critting left and right. And as you level this up, it's going to cleanse more Banes and raise that crit damage, that percentage. And let's look at the third person right off the bat. That's an early farm as well, and that's going to be Dunhar. That's your healer of the group itself. He's a great character. His basic attack is, it's not much. It's 80%. It's not 100%, but he is going to inflict bleed for at least one turn, and as you level this up, you're going to get more damage. You're going to get more bleed duration. As we look at his special, it's going to be a 120% damage, and it's going to be a heal block on whatever target that you hit. Now, as you level this up, it's just going to increase more and more damage upon that character. On the ultimate, this is our healing. It's going to heal the most wounded squad member for 100 health and 10% of Dunhar's max health. And it's going to inflict weaken for one turn on a random enemy. Now, as you level this up, it's going to give more healing, more percent on the healing. It's going to inflict weaken on more random enemies, and it's a beautiful thing. And with the passive, it's going to grant max health. As you level this up, it's going to give stacks of defensive to the most wounded squad member. So those are your three. Now, what's going to make up the fourth member is obviously it's going to be our large character, Ironhide, which is one of the best, if not the best, free-to-play Shadow characters in the game. Now, he's full of AoE, but his basic is just going to be just massive damage, especially if he is hurting. If he's below 50%, it's going to deal 150% damage instead of that 10% damage boost as you level this up. So, as he gets hurt, he's going to inflict more damage. Now, the nice thing about his first AoE, which is a 5 energy cost, so you're going to be able to get that right off the bat, but you're going to have to wait a little while to bring that back. Now, that's going to not only hit all the enemies, but it's also going to dispel at least one boon from each of those enemies. And as you level it up, it's going to be more damage. If you get it all the way up to 6, it's going to bring that cost from 5 down to 4. Now, his ultimate is also an AoE. It's going to be a charge. It's going to attack all the enemies for 110% damage and an additional 5% damage for any Mordor ally below 100%. And as you level this up, it's going to add more damage and more percent damage as well. Now, his passive itself is just going to give more armor. It's going to give max health. But he has an additional passive, and that's because he's a large character. All large characters are going to have this. You're not going to be able to upgrade it because it's prevalent for all of them. And that's basically stating that the character takes 20% less damage from enemies with daggers and staves, but he's going to take 25% more damage from two-handed swords and two-handed heavy weapons. So, and he's also going to get 15% max health and 15% damage, but he's going to lose 10% speed. So he's a slow character, but he is strong. On that fifth and final spot in the early game, you can go two ways. Now, I've gone two different ways. Nurez is great. I like Nurez. It's going to give you the ability to sidetrack being able to have only one large character on the team, because he's going to have on his ultimate a summon, which is going to summon a troll Stonebreaker. And again, it's just going to be damage. It's going to be AoEs, but he's going to come in with a provoke. So he's going to be the target of your enemy squad. So it's going to take the firepower off of your main guys and right onto this summon as well. And like I said, because he is a large character, he's going to have that same thing, the 20% less from staffs and daggers, and 25% more from heavy swords and heavy weapons. But that's not all this character does. His basic, yeah, it's weak damage, it's 80% because, you know, he's a support character. But he's going to inflict weaken on whoever he hits. And it's going to last for one turn unless you upgrade this to get more damage, to get more weaken. And every time you upgrade Norris's skills, the Troll Stonebreaker skills will also go up as well. But if you're fighting a hard fight, you're going to want to spread that weaken out among the other players. Now, also remember that summon is a third turn summon. It's not going to come in as soon as you bring in. So he's not. I'm gonna say he's not that well for arena because he is kind of like a squishy character. So if you don't have someone provoking as a tank, he's going to get hit hard. But for campaigns, it's a no-brainer. You want to go with this. The nice thing about the special is it's going to, as you level it up, it's going to cleanse some Banes off of random allies. But it's going to grant defensive to your allies as well. So it's going to overall raise their resistance and everything else. So with the healing and the defensive, you're going to be able to take a lot of punishment. Now, and again, his passive is he's going to throw provoke on the troll ally. We talked about this, and max health, more chance for provoke. Now you could go another way, and I recommend this. Excuse me. For campaign nodes that give you a guest ally, because you can only have 6 characters in your party. That's including summons. So if you have a guest ally, his troll summon is basically useless. So it's a little bit out there, but I would suggest going with Edric. He's a Dunling. He is ranked as a C tier, whereas Nurez is a B tier. But the reason I like him is because he gets that special resource for Dunlin characters, which is called Frenzy, Blood Frenzy. Now, with the Blood Frenzy, what's going to happen on his passive, if an ally is tagged, he's going to get a 25% chance to get a stack of Blood Frenzy. Now, they goes up to 10 per stack, and they're going to be used with his ultimate. But the reason I say use Edric with your Isengard, because this kicks in a doubling effect if he's in a Dunlending team or an Isengard team. So every time your Isengard characters get hit, he's going to get a 50% chance to get a Blood Frenzy. And as we're looking at the passive, he's going to get more block chance. He's going to get a better block chance per stack of Blood Frenzy as you leveled up, more block chance. Now, the reason he's B tier, his basic is just that. It's basic. It's 100% damage, and as you leveled up, it's just more damage. There's no Banes associated with this at all. His special is pretty good. He's going to give him the provoke as a tank. So with Uglok and him, you can bounce provokes. You can time it so that your provokes are going between him and Uglok. And as you level this up, he's going to get regeneration. He's going to get more damage. And now the Blood Battle Fury, which is the ultimate ability, it's going to burn off those stacks of Blood Frenzy, and he's going to grant 1 might to himself and 2 allies, and gain 1% turn meter per stack of Blood Frenzy on himself. Now, if he has a full stack of 10, right, he's also going to grant turn meter to all the allies with him as well. Now, obviously, every time you use this ability, it's going to burn all the stacks of Blood Frenzy off. And as you level this up, it's going to grant more might. It's going to grant more turn meter as well. So he is a valid option if you don't want to use Nurez, or if you didn't farm Nurez right off the bat. Now, later on in the game, what I feel would be a good mix between the two of those, beside those, would be Bolg. Now, he's a later farm, but you can farm him early on if you want in the challenge store. But his leadership skill is, I feel, great, because it doesn't just work for him. It works for 3 different factions. It's going to work for Orcs, it's going to work for Trolls, it's going to work for Misty Mountain Squad members, and that's going to give a 30% chance to gain advantage for 1 turn. Now, advantage is a guaranteed crit on your next turn. Now, if the character is below 50%, that chance is guaranteed. So it's going to go from 30% to 100%. And as you raise this up, your members are going to gain resistance. They're going to get more chance percent for advantage. I just feel all around he's a great character to have with Isengard, with the Stone. Sorry, not with Stonebreakers. With Ironhide. He's just going to round that entire group out a lot. Now, obviously, the crit would overrun the healing leadership ability from Uglock. So he would be great using this team later on in Arena. I feel that Bolg is going to have a big impact in Arena. So currently right now, like I said, those are my choices for the best free-to-play early-on character on the Shadow side for your campaign. Now, obviously, you want to raise these up as well for other modes currently, like Arena. The Isengard group works fantastic in Arena right now. I see them in higher metas. But yeah, so that's my choice right now. If you have something different, if you have a better choice, you have any comments, hit me up on Discord. Throw some comments down below. Let me know what you feel. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. And good luck with your fellowship.